Hey everybody, Giselle Grenier here from artplace.ca. In today's video lesson, we're going to paint a cute little daisy on a rock as part of my Spirit Stones project. So let's go down to the table and see what I've got done. Well, what I had done and now what I'm going to be redoing. I had started painting this cute little rock here, and I got to this point, and this is probably about the halfway point, and realized that the camera wasn't on. Yeah, we'll blame it on the heat. So I'm going to be painting it again. But I thought, what about, if you find a stone that you really don't know what to do with it? So I picked the oddest stone that I have, and I'm going to paint it on that. Very limited palette for this. Ultramarine blue, Hansa yellow light, yellow oxide, burnt sienna, titanium white, and some matte medium. And I'm using the DecoArt Americana Premium Acrylics. This is their new tube acrylic line. Now, one thing I did do, because I prep all the rocks ahead of time, is using a little flat brush, is to apply a coat of white gesso. First I cleaned the stone and all that stuff, then applied the gesso and let it dry. It just helps the paint stick to it. Now, what I have found is, depending on what I'm painting, that sometimes the paint has trouble sticking to each additional layer, especially in this heat. So what I'm going to be doing with an experiment is applying a coat of matte medium in between each layer. Alrighty, this is super easy. And so the top of the rock here, we're going to paint this whole rock green. And I've got a little number 5 soft grip brush, little bristle brush, and I'm going to go right into the paint. So I'm going to take, let's make a dark mixture first. So tap a little bit of yellow oxide, a little bit of ultramarine blue. Now the stone that I have here, I painted this using phthalo blue, and I found a little bit bright, and a speck of burnt sienna. And we're just going to paint it, and you are going to get a little bit dirty. We're painting a dark layer first, and every time you load the brush, just pick up a different color. Let me get a little bit of Hansa yellow light in there. So I'm going to let this dry, and then when it dries, I'll paint the other side, and then we'll come out now with another green layer to build up some foliage. So I took about 3 layers to cover the stone, and I just basically did alternations between ultramarine blue, Hansa yellow light, and ultramarine blue and yellow oxide. I got a nice model piece. The bottom I'm going to finish at the very, very end. So one of the things, because this rock is so unusual, you might be challenged on how to paint it. Think of it as you're actually forming the flowers. So if you take a look at what daisies look like, or some other type of petal flower, they kind of go like this. So just think about painting it like that. So I'm going to take my little number 8 Aqualon brush, and actually I lied. I'm not taking my Aqualon brush. I'm going to take my little round brush, my little number 1, and let's come in with a little bit of yellow oxide, and let's just pounce on a little rough oval. This will just help determine the center. From here, you can let it dry if you want, or you can just keep going. I'm going to keep going because I'm going to be coming back later to put something in the center. This is a titanium white. And you could either choose to make your strokes coming out this way. I'm going to make mine as funky little flowers, or you can choose to make your strokes going from outside to inside. That's up to you. So really all I'm doing is I'm doing touch, push, lift on the chisel edge. That's all I'm doing. And the chisel edge is this flat part of the brush. Oops, Mia started barking. I had to stop. All right, so let's do this again. So and you can choose how you want to do them. Don't overthink it. You're just making cute little petals. You can make some long, you can make some short, you can make some curved. And if you want to make them really big, just use a bigger brush. Touch, push. I can make a little bit of a curve. And so now, thinking if the rock is going to be facing this way, now I'm going to make these petals go this way. If the rock was facing this way, then I can make them fall down. Actually, that's a nice view right there. I can really make those petals long. Doesn't really matter. It's your stone. And you may run into a challenge when there's a rock. Just go with the flow. Don't worry about it. How cute is that? This one's a little small. Let me just make a little bit bigger. There we go. You don't even have to put any more paint on there. I'm just going to take a little bit of burnt sienna and yellow oxide. Oh, and I don't know if you guys can hear the bubbling. I've got some club soda here and it's making a lot of noise. So I'm just going to go right over and just add a little bit of a shadow color right in here. Nothing fancy. And then just wipe the brush and go right into Hansa Yellow Light and just tap right over this. These little stones, these little spirit stones that I'm doing, make phenomenal gifts. You know why? Because it doesn't matter how many you paint, they will all look different. You can take this flower and paint it on 20 different stones and you'll have 20 different looks because the stones are all different shapes. That burnt sienna one should be dry now. I'm going to take a little bit more yellow oxide. And I'm going over with layers because the layers just make the paint more mottled and just a little bit more natural. And if you can work it while it's still wet, that's probably going to be easier. I don't want to color mix it right on the palette. I like the texture. Okay. Put a little bit more Hansa Yellow Light. Builds up the, and this paint, because it's so thick, it does build up that texture. And if you're using something like the fluid acrylics, you can actually model this with the modeling paste. Oh, I hear the birds outside, which means I think the storm is over. And the last little thing, I'm going to go to that tiny little brush. This is a little 5-0 brush. And I'm going to go into, actually, yeah, I'm going to take that. Ultramarine Blue, Burnt Sienna. And I'm looking for something close to Burnt Umber. You can use Burnt Umber if you want. Actually, the paint's gray, look. So more Ultramarine Blue and a little bit of Burnt Sienna. I'm just going to add little dots. Oh, you know what I should have did? I have a stylus here. I was going to try with the stylus because I fail at that. I so fail at that. Let's see what I can do with the white. They're too big, but that's okay. That's okay. So I finished the bottom. And it's looking really, really pretty. So I'm just using my special brush I use only for varnishing. It's an oval wash, Majestic. And I put this down here. And one thing I forgot, so I'll have to do another video, is I love using the Americana Decor chalky finish paint to paint stones. I absolutely love it. And so I sent an email out to Deco Art just with an experiment I wanted to do, but I wanted to make sure that it would work, is to take their chalky finish medium and add it to the premium acrylics, and they gave me the formula. So I'm going to try that, because although I love using the chalky finish paints, because the colors are already pre-mixed, believe it or not, I feel uncomfortable using pre-mixed paints because I'm a control freak when it comes to color mixing. I want to be able to color mix based on the pigment numbers on the tubes. That's just me. So I would encourage everybody to, if you just learn a little bit of color mixing, stop spending money on, having 300 colors of premixed paints, and all you really need is just maybe, I don't know, 11, 12 colors, and just color mix. You can get the really, really good paint. All right. Voila, finished. So this is how tiny it is compared to my face. It's a cute little stone. And so that's it. So I would like to encourage you to go outside, pick up a stone, throw on some type of greens and some yellows, and just use a brush and just put on some petals and dibby dab some yellows, and take a picture and send it to me. I would love to see it. So that's a challenge. I'm challenging you guys to do that. You can share the picture at artplace.ca. You can send me an email, then we can communicate. I can get it by email, or you can share it in the private Facebook group. Links to both of those are at the website. So I would also love to hear your comments below. If you've painted stones before, let me know what you've done, some tips and techniques that you found, because nobody knows everything. I'm always learning. And give me a thumbs up if you like the video, and subscribe to my channel if you haven't already. And if you are a subscriber, thank you. Alrighty, so now I'm going to have to prepare another project using the chalky finish paint in the premium acrylics to see how that turns out. So until I see you in that video, stay inspired.